Hey there guys, I hope you're all having a great day. About a week ago I told you to leave your questions down below in this Instagram post, so let's get started. First one of them all, who do you direct your music for? Anyone that wants to sit down, listen and have fun with me. That's honestly all I'm looking for. I'm not targeting any specific audience. I guess it's obviously more centered towards rock and metal, but I do like all kinds of music and I have a lot of different influences. Who is the guitarist or musician that inspires you the most? This is honestly a hard one because it's a lot of people. I am lucky to be surrounded by a lot of really talented musicians, both online and on my real life. Most of my friends are musicians. Pretty much everyone around me right now is inspiring me to keep going and just get better. What is your go-to tuning? I normally play in E standard. I'm learning a lot of theory right now and it's just easier. How old are you? How old am I? I am 18. I'm turning 19 the 17th of September. Favorite vocalist, living or dead? I listen to a lot of different kinds of music and it's kind of hard. Anyway, here is a list of vocalists that I really admire in no specific order. Here are the people that make me want to keep singing. How old were you when you started playing? If I don't remember wrong, I hadn't turned 15 yet, so I started when I was 14, which was not that long ago. But yeah, I was 14 when I started playing. What's the best way to put yourself out there as someone who might want to join a band? What's a good resume? What I would do if I was a musician, I was looking up to joining a band or just wanting some band to get my attention and contact me. What I would personally do is I would work on my social media a lot, use it as my portfolio I guess, and post videos that really show and display what I'm able of doing. And I would try to make those videos as high in quality as I could, especially when it comes to like everything sounding crystal clear and as nice as I can. Okay, so here's one that you guys ask about a lot. How did you learn how to scream? Also, do you have any advice for someone wanting to learn how to scream? Okay, so I learned mostly watching YouTube videos and just trial and error. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of vocal coaches that also have YouTube channels in which they make tutorials and they have really useful videos and just explaining everything. A problem with this kind of techniques is that it's pretty risky and you don't want to hurt your throat. They can also be pretty tricky to learn and it's really hard to tell what you're doing wrong just by yourself. I have two things to say when it comes to advice. First of all, if you can afford to, if you have the opportunity, please get on with a vocal coach. Not only is it going to be safer, but it's also going to be so much easier. If you're with a professional, you're gonna be able to tell what you're doing wrong and why a certain thing might not be working. Because there's a lot of stuff that you will need advice on if you're learning this kind of vocals. The second thing that I'm gonna tell you is do not rush it. You're not going to sound like your favorite vocalist in a week. If you try to force it, the only thing that you're gonna get is an injury and you might not recover from this. Your voice is a really delicate instrument and you should take really good care of it. Which is the song you feel most deeply connected with when playing? Anything Pink Floyd-ish, just anything that allows me to play the notes slowly so that I don't have to be really focused on technique, and that allows me to express and spend my time telling the story that I want to tell. When did you start playing music and which is your favorite band? So it's been around 4 years since I started playing and my favorite band of all time is and probably will be Avenged Sevenfold. What are your dreams for your career? So if I'm dreaming and I'm not being overly realistic, being a musician would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I don't know how I would deal with concerts and touring and stuff like that. I have the worst stage fright, so yeah, I'm not sure on how that would turn out. But yeah, being a musician would be pretty sick. It would be pretty sick. I wouldn't mind it. Do you have a favorite string brand? I use Petals strings because I am endorsed by them. They work great. They don't oxidize a lot, which I appreciate because I don't know what my fingers are made of, but my strings turn black on like day 2. What was the first song you ever learned on guitar? I'm not sure. I think the first full song that I ever learned on guitar was Jesus of Suburbia. I'm pretty sure it was that one. And it's probably the only like full song I've ever learned. I do remember I came home and the first riff that I ever tried to play was Party Poison by My Chemical Romance. So that was the thing. What are your favorite, heaviest guitar riffs? The riff that got me into metal was that first heavy riff on Eternal Rest by Avenged Sevenfold. That was the first album that I listened to and I love it now, but I wasn't into screaming and I really wasn't into aggressive music till then. And I remember I was listening to this solo and I was trying to figure out if I actually liked it or not. And I remember the riff came in and it was like, if you had to choose another instrument to play other than guitar and voice, what would it be? Who was your primary influence as a lead player? Always an interesting one, I feel. When I started playing, the first guitarist that really caught my eye and that made me think, wow, I wanna become this good was Ray Toro from My Chemical Romance. Once I kind of got over that phase and I started listening to more metal, the one guitarist that blew me away completely was Sinister Gates. I just had never listened to any solos or like just music like that at all. I didn't know that was possible. I remember I would watch like this video that he has, which is like a masterclass, and he's doing like tapping with both hands. And I remember 15-year-old me was like, how are your different guitars tuned? My Telly is an E standard normally, and so is my Red LTD. Then my Pacifica is just the victim of every single like change in tuning that I do for videos. But yeah, that's it. It depends on what I'm gonna film. I think it's in drop C now. Okay, so here's one that I like a lot. What equipment do you use to get your sound? You go from Arch Enemy to Slipknot to whatever you want, and your tone is always spot on. I've been playing for a short while. I'm finding tone is where I really struggle. Any tips would be greatly appreciated. So the thing about tone is not just on tone itself, but on how you mix it. You have a limited amount of here, and so do I. I've been using the same kind of distortion for every single video for months, and it works because of how I mix it. And the thing is, you need to mix it in a way in which it blends a little bit so that it takes a little bit of the original tone, but without hiding your guitar. That is, I guess, which can be a little bit tricky, but it's definitely possible, and that is what is gonna give you that nice tone. You also need to understand that, again, it's not just on tone itself. It can sound great isolated, but if it doesn't do well in context, then it's not worth the while. What's your favorite alternate tuning? Drop D and drop C. How many guitars, amps, and pedals do you have? So I have 4 amps right now. I have 5 guitars and I have 1 pedal that is not even mine. But yeah. What are your go-to guitar pickups? I'm honestly not a nerd for guitar gear. I'm super lazy, especially when it comes to like pickups and pedals. Not saying I don't like it, I'm just lazy because there's a lot of different things and I get overwhelmed. If it sounds good, it sounds good, and there's a lot of brands out there. I don't know, Fishman are making some like fire pickups lately. If you could play a duet with a famous guitarist, who would it be? When did you start playing guitar or singing? I already said I started playing guitar when I was 14, and I've been singing pretty much all my life, but I started doing this kind of harsh vocals a couple of years ago. Are you self-taught or do you take lessons? I am taking lessons for my guitar playing. I've been for 3 years now. Shit, a good teacher will make you love your instrument, and I don't know. I struggle a lot with being constant and keeping myself motivated, so having a nice teacher is definitely helpful with that. What made you start playing the guitar? I was 14 and I was emo as fuck. I wanted to be like Frank Iero, and I wanted to join a band and be as cool as the guitarist that I would see on the music videos. So I got a guitar. that is pretty much it for today. Let me know any kind of videos that you guys would be interested in seeing down in the comments. Let me know if you liked this video, if it was useful, and if I didn't reply to one of your questions, feel free to leave it down below in the comments so that I can see it and I can reply to it. Take care, stay hydrated, and have a great day.